All right, welcome back. We got a really short one, or hopefully a short one today. I picked up this SteelSeries Arctic Pro wireless headset off of eBay a little while ago. Cheap, just a minor upgrade over what I currently had, but cheap enough for me to justify it. And you know, I wanted something a little bit different. So it's $40. Works fine, other than needing a replacement ear cups because they were really gross. The whole thing just works. So why are we looking at it? Why is it on my desk? That's because the transmitter on this one has an OLED screen here in the front, which it's not plugged in, and I'll show a clip of it here in a second. But it's got a giant burn in it. It's, you know, it's a really old, like tiny OLED screen, you know, something you'd use in an Arduino project, and it's just burned in. There's a giant PS4 burned in right into the middle of it. So my two thoughts from you having used this for like a week or two now, is that the previous owner, the kid, one, had a big head. No offense, he had a big head. The strap was just not even there. And two, they really used their PS4, and this did not have like the screensaver or screen off mode on it at all, because it's burned in, as you can see in the clip. So we're gonna take it out. I'm gonna just really quickly replace it with this replacement screen that I found on AliExpress, and then it won't bother you as much. And you may be thinking, well, why are you doing this? Because it's, you know, you can just turn the screen off when you're not using it, and it will, you know, go away, and the screen will turn off, and you won't see it. It's like, well, yeah, but this was like, I don't know, $1.30 with like $6 to ship it. And I want to put more videos out this year because I did like 3 last year, and I don't know. That's not as much as I'd like to put out. I'd like to do a little bit more of this hobby. So, from what I found online, this peels off. I'm gonna take this out. It also charges the battery, which is a big benefit of why I wanted it. So the bottom rubber here comes off in one big piece. I'm gonna use a heat gun just to make that a little bit easier. And it's 4 screws. This comes out. It should be okay. It should be quick. All right. That could have gone easier. The sticker also just does not want to hold on, but okay, it's fine. It's not like, it's nothing a little double-sided tape can't fix. All right, so bottom's off. There's 4. Look like Philip ones. All right, nice little arrow tells us which direction this faces when we at least go to put it back on. Okay, fine. I hate using flatheads, but they're so much better at this sometimes. We're just putting it in, twisting, and it pops right out. All right, so we've got, this goes here. I wonder if I could just pull this knob off. Yep, okay, so that pulls off. There's 2 cables that we have to desolder. I was really hoping I didn't need to do any soldering on this, but my YouTube recommendations have been filled with a lot of things lately that are very different. Got a lot of car stuff for a little while, which neat. I got a video the other day of somebody installed like a PlayStation 2 in their car. They put it in the glove box and ran it was pretty simple. They ran an AV RCA cable from the PS2 into an input on the back of their aftermarket receiver or aftermarket head unit. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I'm also getting a lot of PS Vita videos, which I find kind of interesting. Red goes on top. And I haven't used mine actually since I made that video ages ago about me cleaning it. And I know, it's given me some ideas. So, after I installed the USB-C on my 3DS, which I am still actively using, I want to put a USB-C on everything. So maybe I'll put one in my PS Vita that I don't use. Also looking for Vita game recommendations. I try not to download things I don't own, but you know, I'm open to game ideas that might be cheap or fun to play. So, all right. So now that these are unsoldered and this cable is unplugged, there seems to be 2 screws holding this in place on the top and bottom of the screen, or I guess left and right, depending on the way that you're looking at it. Maybe flex the shell a little bit, ever so slightly. Okay, so we need to replace this. So there's some tape, which I don't want to accidentally rip this cable. Damn, if that's not precarious. All right. So replacement screen. Both are 24 pin. I don't think this has a gasket on it, but that's fine. But it should just be a drop-in replacement. So first things first, let's disconnect this connector. Wonder why this says power cables running to this. There's a voltage thing right here. Is it for the screen? That's nuts. I don't know why you wouldn't just run that through the ribbon cable. There's some adhesive on the back of this. That's annoying. All right. Can I get a spudger under it? You can if you shatter the screen. Oh yeah, I broke something on that. All right. Yeah, I shattered that. All right. Well, at least we don't need to be gentle with it. So I'm not really happy that this has to be such a destructive replacement. I was really hoping that I could not do it this way. And if I had problems with the other screen, I could just put this one back in. That is not happening, as we can very clearly see. But I'm now trying to keep this from shattering all over my desk. So here's my little trash can. I'm just going to constantly start dumping things into. All right, as you can probably hear, I have my heat gun constantly running to soften up this adhesive, so I can just scrape it over with my spudger, and then I'm just dumping it into my trash. Now we're just going to use the heat, and I might go grab some isopropyl alcohol to just remove this adhesive so there's a flat back, and it's as smooth as we can possibly make it. So that's nice and cleaned. I've got a bit of glass in my finger. Yeah. I think because of the amount of glass that just shattered everywhere, I'm going to say don't try this yourself. Because it's actually a lot, and glass splinters suck. So, get this out of here. There's no adhesive on it, so... But it does just drop right in. I think I was debating getting some very simple double-sided tape out and just using that. I think because it has enough of a press fit and because it's back behind a shielding here, like a cover, I'm not too worried about it falling out. Right? Yeah. So I'm just going to install it like this. we're not going to use any kind of tape. All right, that's in place. While we do screws, I'm going to preheat my thing. Let's pull this off. I'm confident. Oh, wait, no. Gotta do a thing. Now we'll screw this back in. And then we can solder this down. All right, cool. We'll do a quick test to make sure that the screen still works, but my camera is here and it's over there, so we'll plug that in. All right, so that does indeed turn on. Screen is there. It slots the knob back on. I don't think I have the housing secured properly here. I just have to take out both screws. I kind of just pushed slightly on there while holding it in place here, so that it would fall into whatever little alignment grooves are here. Now we can tighten it back down properly. Yep, because this now spins. Ever so slightly binding because my screws weren't tight enough. All right, and we put everything back together. So the arrow goes towards the front. I'm gonna drop it in this way, so drop it in this way, front back, so that it presses this ribbon cable flatter, like that. And now the 4 screws. Maybe that arrow is not telling us the direction, but rather the, I don't know, procedure it has to do to go on. We go back to front, like this. Yeah, that's it. All right. It was pushing up right here, probably because of this button. So these screws screw in way more than you think they probably would. Everything kept not laying perfectly flat. All right, now we can do that. All right, so a little tip. When reinstalling screws into what is pure plastics, the stems that are on here that I'm screwing into right now are not metal. They're pure plastic. There's no threaded inserts or anything. Start with a screw and rotate it slightly left until you, counterclockwise, like you're unscrewing it, and you'll feel it drop ever so slightly into place. Like that. There you go, like that. And then when you go to start screwing, it's way easier to rescrew because you are following the threads that are already in there. And it prevents you from accidentally cross-threading the plastic and winding up with effectively cutting yourself new threads, which is why you can feel like it's so hard to re-screw things in the plastic, because you're effectively cutting new threads with the screw, which one is not good for the plastic or the screw, because you can only do it so many times. But because you can only do it so many times, you will eventually, if you're taking something apart a lot, you'll eventually wind up tearing the plastic apart, and you'll never be able to get a screw in there again, because there's nothing for it to grab when the whole screw, because when it's entirely threaded, then nothing's threaded. So let's stick this back on. I'm gonna try and keep this sticker alive. All right. That should be it. Let me plug it back in. All right, so we've got the same thing. It turns on like we said, and let me focus that. There is no big PS4 lettering burned into the screen. And if you don't already have this, one thing I'd recommend is clicking the button, going to options, Going to screen, and then timeout I have on 30 seconds. You do whatever you want. I think it goes up to like 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes, which is a long time. I'm gonna do 30 seconds, and then the mode, I have it set to screen off. So the whole screen just turns off after 30 seconds. But that's it. If we plug the battery back in, which I do not have this in a good spot to do, not one-handed. Then charges, or yeah, there you go, not charges. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. If anybody tries to tackle that, I'll put a link to the screen I bought in the description for a few dollars. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful.